Hey, hello guys. Welcome to the new edition of Tech Samvad. Before I start my weekly disclaimer. So all the opinions expressed are mine only and not attributed to my present or past employers. And all the opinions expressed by the authors are his only. So we are here to discuss about AI, and I have an interesting topic on AI. So recently we had a wonderful book release. The name of the book is Playful, and the subtitle is something like building a creative play culture for success and happiness in the AI world. So as you know, AI is becoming pervasive in our corporate world, personal world. It's already there. Corporate is slowly moving in. So one of the key ingredients or things which all the managers should look into is how to keep the human creativity intact, as well as to leverage the AI part of it. And this book is a wonderful summary, or rather some thoughts by Harish. So he's the author. We have Harish Kumar is the author. I know him quite well. We go along maybe since school, is it? Yeah. So maybe why don't you introduce yourself, Harish, to the audience, and maybe tell a brief about the book, and then I have some of the questions which I'll ask. Please, all yours. I'll just
Thank
put
you.
the book here.
Thank you, Shubhankar. Absolutely a pleasure being on your podcast today. And of course, the relevant topic, AI, and how it's kind of shaping our world, our culture, and how, more importantly, is it shaping happiness in our world. Uh, the book is rather a reflection of my journey over the last 20-25 years. I've been a creative professional working across film, television, media, radio, running a couple of production houses. And then in my current avatar, I design spaces, I design experiential spaces, rather, they're like museums and things like that, which kind of borders in terms of connecting the physical world, in terms of construction spaces, with a lot of art, design, and of course, a lot of technology in terms of your audio, visual, sensorial, and the part of AI comes in, where how can these physical spaces be leveraged with AI? So that's the area that I'm operating in on. And it's very interesting today because it's the classic case of merging the physical self with the digital world.
Digital world. Yeah.
So that's what I've done. And in the book, what I've done is I've looked at the whole aspect of play, um, which goes from how we are all conditioned in our lives right from our early childhood, where we look at like from the time you're born, you're conditioned. Like there is a parental conditioning which tells you how you behave at home or how you read or how you imagine. Then the conditioning happens in school where you're taught this is the way you write, this is the way you read, this is the way you dress up to school. And then, of course, that conditioning continues back at workplace, with family, and all that. To a point, we become an engine which does not think beyond a particular protocol or
Dogmas.
certain dogmas or certain key instructions that are fed and the scripts that are written in your brain.
LLM.
And yes, and that's how we have been operating. But then where does that real creativity and that comes in? It comes from the whole conditioning that you're doing, which is the same that happens in the AI engine. It's how you prompt, how you design the engine, how you make the engine think today. The engine also can be a extremely robust engine, or it performs as a very dumb replication engine, which does not think beyond a point. So how different are we, or how can we think different in the whole context? So the book kind of makes us reflect right from our childhood. How have we been conditioned? Is our conditioning being too critical that we stop thinking? Or we need to get back to our past, our childhood, and start reflecting from there. So I say it is not in the future, but the answers lie a lot more in your past, and you need to connect the dots in your life and see what were those critical moments that made the transformation to be where you are today.
Okay.
So that's the whole exploration.
Wonderful, wonderful. So that actually ties up with how we pre-train the LLM, where we feed in a lot of ideas, lot of text, lot of videos. It has its own bias. It has its own set of dogmas, which actually the output becomes a little bit dangerous to be used directly. So that's the reason human needs to interfere. Now coming back to the uh, book, this is playful. So what what is the fool out here?
Ah, very, very, uh, very valid question, and thanks for bringing that out. Why not full and why fool? See, the whole thought came like we're always full of ideas, and we think we are full with a lot of knowledge and information system. And as you grow up in your corporate life, and you kind of hit towards the glass ceiling, you have created lots of barriers and walls around you, and you're full of your own thinking, and quite often you see there is not an information or a data which is coming up, but there's a lot of information instruction going top down.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of question for the leaders at the top to saying how much of information that you're letting come from right from the bottom, because quite often we see the information that is coming from the bottom is quite from the inner circle or 4 or 5 people that critically aligns with the top bosses for the day-to-day activities, and beyond that there is a disconnect, or they just believe what is coming up. But in the true sense, probably there's a lot of things that's lying really at the bottom. There are brilliant ideas which, and you raise the idea of bias. Bias could be creeping in our system without us being aware itself. It could be gender bias, it could be cognitive bias, it could be data bias, it could be the bias in terms of how the climate was today and how the traffic was today, and that's how I come back to work and react and think about something.
Absolutely.
So, and these biases are in our system every day at every moment, and we are not even aware that a bias is actually creeping in our judgment or thinking process. So what I say is, when you look back and see as a kid, the kid is pretty not built with these biases, because these biases are filled
Fed by the society.
with the society, by parents, by teachers, by workforce, culture. All of that is feeding those biases into our system. But otherwise, the child is very free. And the kid makes a fool of, like, say, imagine a kid is running, it falls down. What does it do? If the free is a very free-flowing child, the kid will get up, dust itself. Even if it's kind of got a little hurt or a bruise, it will dust because it will go play with the next child. Same way when the kid is made to draw or maybe it will paint a green looking face with a blue color body and pink hair and stuff like that, which looks nowhere being real. And quite often we build that bias. Hey, does it look like a human being? Does it? But who stopped the creativity of that child? So we start putting in subtly some biases, barriers in terms of that. So we stop making fool of yourself from a societal angle is very wrong. But then that very aspect of you trying something, failing, feeling vulnerable, and you think that's where the whole question is. When you express your vulnerability, you think you're making a fool of yourself. But you're not making a fool of yourself. You're actually bringing the more human side of it, which is what is needed in this whole AI world. You need to bring the human side of it. You have to be true. Bring your vulnerable side. And once your vulnerable side is out, especially as a top boss, what happens is you start building better trust in your organization and your team. Because I know he's human. I know he can make a mistake. As long as you are able to acknowledge that fact that such and such thing is happening, and it's fair enough for you to make a mistake and come out of it. And people appreciate you for that. So we can't be perfect human beings. That's where the whole conditioning happens.
Yeah, that actually ties up, because you're talking about the AI, and what my 2 cents is, this technology is different from the internet era or the cloud era, because that was more top down. So all the big organizations had the internet, then the general public got it. In AI, thanks to OpenAI, thanks to all these new frontier model providers, we are having creativity at each. The consumer got educated first compared to the people, and now I think people, the tools are there in their hand in terms of all the things, and we should actually encourage them to make fool of themselves. Absolutely.
You're bang on. It's like be bold, be out there, go try and make something. Because I think the biggest problem that is happening is because of all this conditioning. You're not wanting to attempt something and
Experiment.
think that you want to make a fool of yourself. But the most important thing is you need more and more experimentation today than even yesterday, because there's so much of happening there. There's so much of tools out there. It's just that you need to be willing to put your head out there, spend some time, try something. Yes, of course, 10 things that you're going to try is going to fail. Probably the 11th one is going to work for you. But you have to be willing to invest your time and energy to make those attempts there.
So, in your opinion, the organization which has that risk-taking appetite of allowing its employees to make fool of themselves have a higher probability of succeeding in future.
Very, very, very true. Where in organizations today the roadblock is coming is the fear of failure. The second thing is the environment is such that you just cannot fail. So the success and the failure ratio is so much built into the thought process that your risk-taking ability is just going down, 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 and down. With that, and the fear comes into my mind is because I'm going to get penalized for taking a risk and failing in that idea. But if the organization can create a safe environment, give them the confidence that, you know what, we love you to come and play with this idea. You are here. But yes, think through. Just because, see, that's where I say that the thin line is making a fool is you don't do the homework, you don't do the practicality and just then you're a real fool. But the actual fool that I'm talking about here is somebody who's trying, not afraid to make a fool of yourself from a standpoint of the world, but goes out and tries. And that's when the trust that builds. And with trust, what happens, the next beautiful thing that starts happening. People want to collaborate.
Yeah.
Because, and today is a very collaborative world. You cannot be that one master genius. You could be good with this. Somebody else is good with this. Like I design spaces and things like that today. I cannot just do it. I need the architect, I need the electrician, I need the fabricator, I need the plumber, I need the flooring, the civil, masonry, all of them. And I need to get everybody in a collective vision where everybody feels, oh wow, this is what we are building. So it's a extremely collaborative world today. And once we get into that magic, I'm telling you, wonders will happen.
Same here. I also feel that in the AI world, the more the collaboration happens between people who are having different domain ideas, then the magic will happen. As such, we have a lot of tools and paucity of time, but what I can see is many chapters. How many chapters are there?
We have about 14, 15 chapters for you to explain that.
And how does one get hold of this book?
The books are going to be out in Amazon and in most of the book buying platforms right now. I'll probably share you the link there and with
I'll put it in my newsletter to all my subscribers.
Thank you. It's been
wonderful. We are running short of time, and thank you, Harish. Wonderful talk. And such a pleasure knowing you in person over the last how many years I can't count. But I've read this book partially. It's awesome. You guys should have it. And with that, thank you all for listening, and thank you, Harish, for taking time out for discussing this book with me.
Yes. I have one small message there. And if you want to really build playful in your life and keep that as your mantra, be creative, be happy, and be playful.
Be playful. Thank you. Thank you so much.